Welcome to Cocktails with the Crew, a podcast about wedding planning.
Episode 2.
Welcome to the Wedding Crew's Cocktails with the Crew. We're back with our second ever episode.
Yes.
So just a little bit about us and what we're doing with this podcast. My name is Jessica Talazac. I am the Director of Special Events for Republic NOLA, which is a wedding venue here
Which is
in
where
New
we
Orleans.
are right now.
Yeah. And Jessica?
And I'm also Jessica, but I'm Jessica Burke. I'm the publisher of New Orleans Weddings Magazine. And we also have a fabulous behind the crew, or as we like to put it right now, under the bar, producer named Ellen Kramer, who is monitoring our audio and making sure all of this sounds fantastic. She does not like being on camera, so we may talk her into it at some point. But for today, you've got me and Jessica and some great guests.
Yes. Basically, each of our episodes has a topic of conversation surrounding the wedding industry, and then we, have different guests, whether they are wedding planners or vendors, some brides themselves, just kind of giving their perspective on that topic.
And most importantly, we have cocktails.
Yes.
As you can see here, Jessica, our fabulous bar mistress.
Also double as bartender.
Yes.
Not really.
Tell us what we're drinking today.
So we have a kombucha cocktail, which is actually quite the trend right now. People are really incorporating wellness and things like that into events. So we have kombucha. This is Big Easy Bucha, which is brewed here locally. And it's a blueberry and mayhaw flavor with some Hendrick's gin, elderflower liqueur, and a little bit of soda on top. And the umbrellas are just for fun.
Yes. And if you would like to have that recipe, we'll be posting it on our Instagram and our other social accounts. So don't worry, we've got you.
Yes.
Got you. So, but I think without further ado, we should invite our first guests. You probably have heard of them, the fabulous ladies of Wink Design and Events. We are welcoming today Kim, Hien, and Christina. So y'all come on over and grab a drink.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Cocktail for you.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Cocktail.
Ooh, here we go.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm going to grab a green one here. Perfect. And
Cheers.
then, all right,
Cheers.
everybody, cheers as we get started.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Very good. Very good.
I have never actually had this before. Kombucha.
Yeah, so it's got probiotics, which is actually really good for you. So, while you're drinking, you may as well detox your liver.
Hey, I like it.
Well, it tastes good. It's good.
Yeah,
It is
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have the questions, but I think we'll get started by letting the lovely ladies of Wink tell us about what they do for anyone that maybe has not heard of you yet. So tell us what you do with Wink and what you bring to the wedding world.
Well, we're Wink Design and Events, and our core business is weddings, of course. We are considered the luxury wedding market, which is a bit different, in New Orleans than it is all over the country. But with that said, we've also had the pleasure of doing weddings all over the country. So core business is weddings, but we do a lot of special events, social, nonprofit, corporate, really anything and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and Wink has been around for 13 years.
Wow.
So lucky year 13 this has been. It's been a really great year for
There
us.
you go.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And we're just really excited to be here contributing to this.
So how did y'all get started? I mean, I know y'all's story because I've known y'all since the beginning, but tell everybody else because I know y'all have a fun story about how you got involved in the design industry.
Woo! 13 years ago.
You remember back that far, huh?
I was actually in my first year of college, and Kim actually was working at an insurance center, and they were looking for a secretary. I came in with my sister for business. She was like, "Hey, do you need a job?" I'm like, sure.
It's
Why
that
not?
easy.
Yeah.
It was my very first job ever.
Oh
Never
my
worked before in my
gosh.
life. Yeah. So I mean, after that, we just became really great friends. Kim was always in the entertainment industry, so she did fashion show, car shows, things like that. I kind of just tagged along. So we did our first wedding. It's actually our boss wedding.
Yes, it starts off with the friends and family.
Yes.
Yes.
700 guests.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes,
y'all
that's
don't
a
even
big
start
one.
off
We were
small.
like, I don't know. Just
But
throw the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the blood.
Yeah.
We did it in college, the underground club things and the car shows and that stuff. So it was in the blood. But yeah, for sure.
Her blood.
Yeah. But for sure, Hien and I met through work, and where we worked at was our family's business. So it was they were entrepreneur. They had like 5 different businesses in one. So between the two of us, we managed a bail bonds, a construction, a mortgage, demolition, and insurance.
Wow.
Oh, and don't forget taxes.
Oh yeah.
So
You got it all covered.
we learned a lot from just being in that world and just really multitasking and doing a lot of stuff. And I think our first like really big on the wedding industry was doing the wedding for our boss, which is my cousin at the point. And then we did Hien's wedding, sister's wedding.
I was like, Mom, what do I got married?
And then people started like, hey, y'all transform a parking lot. That's really good. Is this what y'all do? And we were like, not really, but it is another industry, sort of like event thing. So then we decided, you know what? I don't think we're meant to sit in an office 9 to 5. We need to be up and going. So from there on, we started, the two of us, and we started Wing.
Yeah. Awesome. I think y'all are pretty much known for transforming any space into a magnificent, just
Over the
luxury
top.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Such beautiful work.
I mean, our first event in a parking lot for 700 guests.
So it literally wasn't a parking lot.
It was.
We transformed the Gretna, was it the Gretna parking lot?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
At the courthouse.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think like at that time, like 10, 13 years ago, we like nothing was around. There was no social media. There was no any of that. So like what we did was, I mean, what do we need to do to learn and grow? So we started researching like what are the conventions out there? What do we need to do to grow our business, to learn more about the industry? Because at that point, it was really not that much.
Yeah. It's changed a lot.
It's changed so much. There was no Pinterest then. There was no social media. All they had was really conventions.
Yeah.
So we started
Magazines.
magazines.
Yes, we did a huge transformation.
Yeah, and that's where we
Yes.
got a lot of our inspiration was magazines, and we were like, let's find out what do we need to do to go out there and grow and learn, and that's what we did. We looked at like Grace Amons, a local magazine here, and was like, okay, we need to go find these conventions. We need to travel to LA, and that's how we gained the knowledge of what we have today.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did some really fun transformations with y'all back in the day. It was. I have to probably pull out some throwback photos.
my God.
Because we knew you before the magazine. You were a photographer.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
we did a few of our weddings.
Yeah, we did a lot together.
Yeah, like the first few weddings that we had actually.
Yes, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, wow, we got a lot of
Yeah.
We go way back.
yes. It's like you start to forget about all of the fun.
Yeah.
So post this on Throwback Thursday.
Yes, we are. We're gonna have to do that, and I'm gonna have to go through all of my files, and I do have them all. And we are gonna find these pictures because that's gonna be fun to revisit that because they were really fun shoots. So.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, I know. I still have the magazine, so if nothing else, we're going to do some video of that. But I know you have some questions, Jessica. You have
yes.
our handy dandy list of questions.
So the topic today is trusting vendors and kind of how brides, find the right fit and then establishing trust with them moving forward and everything. So how do you guys establish trust with your clients?
With our clients, I mean, it starts when you are first meeting with them, when they first call, like that initial contact and conversation. It's making them feel comfortable because we're very transparent with our clients about the fact that they're spending a lot of money. We are in the leisure business, so no one has to spend the amount of money that they are spending with us or do any of the extravagant things that they're doing, but we are there to make them feel comfortable about doing it. They're making a very big decision. Getting married is a very big decision, hopefully the best decision they've made.
Yes.
And we have a really great track record with our clients, so so a lot of happy marriages. But same thing goes with corporate and social clients as well. I guess the biggest thing is being upfront and honest that we understand that this is a lot of money, but we're going to help you kind of put that puzzle together. Balancing your budget is looking at that number and then saying, how do we make it work for us? And so that's really, something that a lot of people, I think, shy away from having those discussions in the beginning. It's like talking about budget is like, ooh, you don't want to scare the client away. But to be honest, if you have that discussion and you're very clear and upfront about it from the beginning, you're actually going to build a better relationship with them.
Right.
And so,
Transparency.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, the credibility, like we are very, very fortunate to have a good social media following. We have an amazing social media team. And it's, we're in a visual industry, so social media is big for us. But then also all of the word of mouth and personal referrals. Like, we are so thankful and grateful for all the people who tell their friends, their family, their coworkers, all of the vendors, the venues, really anyone who, speaks well about what we do and makes those referrals. That's what really drives our business and keeps us going.
Yes, absolutely. So on that note, like, you obviously work with a lot of people, you get referrals from them, but you probably, I would assume, want to be selective about who you refer, because that more than likely reflects your reputation. It's very important. How do you determine if someone is a good fit for you to refer to your clients, and what makes them stand out?
I would say their knowledge. I mean, if you're knowledgeable about what you're trying to sell, your product, your services, that's what's gonna keep us kind of trust you and want to recommend you.
We give them all a test.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
We do. Go to week.com.
You have to submit your answers. No, but it's true. It's not a formal test, but to piggyback on what Hien is saying, we do ask those questions, because a lot of times when we're traveling to other markets, we're working with vendors that we've never worked with.
Right.
So we're relying on their social media, their websites, and of course, everyone puts their best foot forward on their social media. You're not going to show like that drink that fell down, or
the cake that fell over.
The cake.
Actually, I wish they did. Because she really does happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That happens.
It really does, and so it's really it's important for us to be able to vet them, and I think Kim has actually done it a lot recently, because we've had a couple weddings that she's done out of town recently, to really do that intense research and get to know them and learn more about what they do. Kim,
Have you ever had a client?
put that on the blooper reel.
No, I was just gonna ask, have you ever had a client that maybe wanted to work with a vendor and you didn't want to work with them?
Yes, I mean all the time. Like, hey, my aunt does flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Can we do? And we say at the end of the day, we can work with anyone. Yeah. It's about us curating the look, but also we can't justify the quality of someone's work if we haven't worked with them.
Right.
Now we can mold and we can really show them how we should do things and how it should be done, but we can't guarantee the work.
Right.
So that we do go through a series, like we interview them a lot. Like we do the phone, we send them a design deck, and then we make sure that when we're working out of state with the new vendors, that, and I've learned through trial, that everything has to be literally stated in black and white and very detailed.
Oh my
in
God.
writing.
Yes.
Because
Not our fault if it looks bad.
my actual
Nothing
large
response.
face could be, and this was trial and error. Like when I think large, I think large.
48.
Their large is
At least taller than Kim.
yeah. So like we've learned through trial and errors, like especially when you're working with new vendors, you have to make sure communication is like the key.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you guys are all on the same page and everything has to be black and white in details.
Yeah.
And then you go over the design deck, the details, everything in black and white, so that way we're all on the same page. Because then if something falls through the gap, then you can say, hey, no, it's in black and white here.
Yeah.
And
Oversized is 48.
exactly.
That's all.
Like in this industry, things are not always perfect, but on the event day, like it's just a matter of like make it work.
Yeah.
So if you're miscommunicating that my large and your large is different, well in black and white, it's saying it's 40 inches tall, but you're giving me a 30-inch tall in black and white right here is 40 inches. Go fix it and get a different base. Like we gotta fix it. So this industry is all about communicating, really just making sure we're all on the same page and just making things work.
Yeah.
So I think that's like our biggest thing is making sure that we're a team, like everybody's a team player.
Yeah.
Because
I've once heard y'all say that you don't just have a plan A and plan B, you also have plan C.
yeah, lots of
You have the plans, and you have the emergency plans.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And you want to make sure like we debrief with all the vendors ahead of time, and then afterwards to say what went right, what went wrong, because we're very big on our relationships with our vendors, because as designers, as planners, we are a reflection of what each and every vendor does. And we are very clear with our vendors in saying that, if you do something that goes left, we're going left with you. We can't, we're not going to, just say, oh, it's their fault. That's not right.
You
Because
still have to make it look good.
exactly. And we're, we can have a client who's like, well, you referred this vendor to me, so
Why doesn't it look
why
right?
is it, whatever. So we want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then if we need to have those coaching moments, whether it's from them to us or us to them, because there's a lot of things that even though Google is our best friend,
Oh my God, we love Google.
there's a lot of things that we still don't know. And so, just like Kim and Hien said, they've never really stopped their hunger for learning. So going to those conventions and looking up different things and reading articles and, constantly asking questions to the point, like, ad nauseum sometimes the vendors are like, look, we've got work to do.
Yeah.
What about this? Like, what if you do it like this? So we really want to keep that knowledge flowing, because you have to keep learning, because if you're not, you're...
And we love vendors who educate us at the same time.
Right.
You can educate us and you're knowledgeable about what you're trying to sell.
It helps
You're
you.
a trusted vendor to us. We're going to refer you, we're going to use you.
Yeah.
You're our
It's
vendor.
good to work with other vendors who have that same vision you do of
Absolutely.
always wanting to
Yes.
learn and grow and evolve, because like my motto is evolve or die. Like that's really the
That's
nature
what
of
it
this
is.
business, is like you have to stay on the trend. You have to stay like always, what's next, what's cutting edge.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and we're very big on, new things. So we always tell clients, because they always call and they're like, well,
can you do this thing
can
that
you-
you've done
Yeah.
before?
I know.
This is what I do the same thing. I'm like, I don't want to do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done that already.
Exactly. But as a design team and just kind of like the coach of that event, it's our job to be able to sell that to the client. And when you're selling something, you're basically transferring your feelings to them. So if we don't feel passionate about it, if we don't love it, then we're not going to be able to share that with someone and convince them that it's the best for them.
Yeah.
So, I heard you guys mention it earlier, we do this because we really love what we do. And there are moments where, you want to give up, or you don't want to do it, or we don't even want to look at each other.
Oh, we get a lot of those.
Yeah.
And
Late nights.
yeah, sometimes in the morning.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to come to our office and observe, you're more than welcome. Just bring coffee.
Or
But,
cocktails.
Yeah.
or cocktails. But we have to still make sure that we are keeping in mind why we do what we do. It's in the best interest of the client. We want to make our vendors shine. We definitely want to make the client happy. And then, not lastly, but most importantly for us, is that as Wink Design and Events, we have an image. And we want to make sure that shines through no matter what. So we're not going to put ourselves in a position to kind of compromise what we stand for, what we do, and we're very clear about communicating that.
That's awesome. You had any other questions on your list?
No, I don't think so.
We do have another guest.
Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Might have to make some room on the sofa for our friend Brian Jarreau of Brian Jarreau Photography. He has been helping us out today behind the scenes a little bit too.
Hi,
Here he
everybody.
is.
How's it going?
So, Brian, welcome.
Oh, I get a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
So we're having a kombucha drink?
Yes.
Yes.
Kombucha cocktails are all
It's
the rage
very
right now,
tasty.
so-
It's very good.
Yeah.
And
Food is
healthier
good.
already.
Thank
And it's healthy. That's great.
Yeah.
Wait, there's alcohol in it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
It's still healthy.
It's Hendrix gin and other flower liqueur as
Nice.
well. Yep.
Yes, we'll have the recipe, don't worry.
Yeah.
But Brian is with Brian Jarreau Photography. Tell us a little bit about your work, your style, why you love what you do.
Sure. Well, I love photography. Well, okay. Let's see. I've been doing professional photography for about 10 years. I started out doing lingerie and eyewear, which is not everything you want to tell a bride.
All in the same photo shoots or different photo shoots?
Well, so I worked in the film industry,
Okay.
and then somehow or another I transitioned into lingerie and eyewear by working with a company. They went out of business, and their primary owner was the photographer, and he took me under his wing and he started teaching me photography. So a lot of people have a formal education in photography. They go to school, they do college training and mentorships and everything. I sort of like came in the back way and started working in product photography, and then worked my way up to weddings.
Yeah.
I swore I would never photograph a wedding. He's like, I don't want to covet brides and grooms and be like, oh, that's so cute. Y'all kiss.
Smoochy.
I have a degree in theater, so I don't know strangers. Everybody's a friend.
Yeah.
Which coincides really well with New Orleans, because everyone here is a friend.
Yeah.
Or every stranger is a friend that you haven't met yet.
My background's in theater as well.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
there you
Yeah,
go.
so I always say that I run events like I run a show.
Exactly.
Like-
Yeah. When the bride and groom are standing there, I'm like, y'all ready? It's almost showtime.
Yeah.
Right over here where the audience is coming in.
Do this.
I love photography. One of the aspects of wedding photography that I think is so important is there's so many things that happen on your wedding day, and it's all happening really fast. And a lot of times the bride and groom, and I'm always telling brides and grooms, take the time to appreciate your wedding day because it's happening really quickly. So a great thing about the wedding imagery is that when it's all over and said and done with, you'll be able to go back to your photos and look at everything and remember all of the different nuances of the day and how incredible everything was. And so we really tried to provide not only the stable imagery, but also all of the details.
Yeah, it's such a
because it's so
blur
important.
as it's happening.
Right.
I mean,
Sometimes it's a blur for us too.
Yeah. It's like, oh wait, they had that. Yeah, and then we did an amazing design, and they're just go.
Well, I have to
Yes.
say, I follow y'all on Instagram, and seriously, all of your events are amazing.
Thank
you.
All of your
Thank
setups, your
you.
lighting, your
Spectacular.
tabletops, like all of your designs, just really incredible.
Yeah, you
Thank
stop
you.
any tracks. Stop any tracks.
It's a show for us. It's definitely a show for us too.
Yes.
So yeah, kind of the topic, today is trusting vendors. So we've been talking about that, and the main thing we want to ask you is how have reviews and online testimonials, Yelp, Google,
Sure.
Facebook, all of that, how has that really kind of shaped your business and changed things for you?
Sure. Up until a couple of years ago, I don't think that vendors were using reviews the way that they are now. And I read a statistic on, I believe, Wedding Wire or The Knot, that 93% of millennials will trust a written review from a stranger just as much as a word of mouth referral from a friend.
I do. That's how I buy stuff on Amazon.
Sure,
Yeah.
exactly. When you go on
Yeah.
Amazon, the first thing I do is I go and I look at the reviews,
Yeah.
and not the 5-star reviews.
The
I look for the
one-star.
1-star reviews because some people are ornery and you can't nothing will
Mhm.
satisfy
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But if there's something wrong with the product, people are going to immediately let
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. The same thing can be said for your reviews, and I urge vendors always follow up with your bride and groom
Yeah.
pretty close to your wedding while it's fresh,
Yeah.
so you can get those reviews because it's really hard. I know that October 31st is for the Knot. Wedding Wire is December 18th, I think. That's for your year to get your reviews in. And it's really hard to get 15, 20, 30 brides to turn in reviews when you have like a month left and you're like trying to keep up with all of them. So reviews have really shaped how people will search for you, and then also whether someone will even click on you or follow you. Yes, your presentation as far as your imagery is very important. And then also after they've contacted you, it's extremely important to follow up with them quickly. Like,
Yes.
I think they say that whoever contacts a bride within 7 minutes is the best chance of
Wow.
booking that wedding.
7 minutes.
So, yeah.
Wow.
And
I don't
that's
know.
scary, which is why
Who can
the
respond
Wedding Wire
to that?
created a systems where they're pushing in notices to you as soon as someone. I think from Wedding Wire we even get a text message that lets us know
Yeah, and I
when
guess some
someone-
businesses can do more automated pricing and responses and stuff.
I mean, I would
We're a
think
little
even
more
just
custom, but yeah.
even
Sure.
just responding and saying, "Hey, I'm working on this." Maybe.
Right, maybe
Yeah.
an auto response like,
Yeah, if you're a
you'll
vendor,
receive
I
a proposal
recommend
within this many
investing.
days or
Yeah, I recommend investing in a really good CRM. We use Dubsado. I know there's 17 hats.
We
There's
use Dubsado too.
Right,
Yeah,
Dubsado is
there you
really
go.
great. Creating a set of protocols inside of your CRM so that when someone contacts you, it'll either create an automatic response. I like to control my responses so that I can add just a little bit of personal touch to them,
right.
sure. But yeah, having all of that in there to quickly move things along.
Yeah.
But reviews, extremely important. Everyone is looking for a personal experience, and they want to know that when they're having their wedding, they're in good hands. You know, and I tell my brides all the time, about a week before your wedding, you're going to feel like it's a snowball and you can't control it. But you're in good hands. That's why you hired your vendors,
Yes.
and,
Right.
and you fielded you fielded your vendors, and you made sure that you picked someone who was good. And that's what we're here for.
Right.
So, what do you do other than what you've already told us about as you're shooting? How do you make people trust you? Because some people are really nervous about being on camera or posing or being
Sure.
the center of attention. They just don't want that kind of spotlight, as
Right.
it were, and you can't exactly just go around without using a
Well, I
flash.
have the inability to shut up. So when I'm photographing, I am constantly moving my mouth. Because if someone can hear your voice, it's comforting. And I'm also cracking a lot of jokes. I'm making jokes the whole time. I've got probably 500 minutes of clean PG material for weddings. And
Joke for
probably
every
1,000
occasion.
minutes of not so clean PG material, X material. Also, I learned that when I used to do school photography, and it's very important when you're doing school photography to explain what you're doing with your hands for lots of reasons, obviously. But you have hair right here. I'm going to grab your hair. I'm going to move your hair. So constantly telling your bride, your subject, just kind of kind of changing their nuances a little bit, or telling them to fix their hair or something, without making them self-conscious. Yeah. But just little things here, and then I'm constantly telling them, like, oh, you got it, you're killing it. This is beautiful. And some photographers don't show photos to the bride and groom, like the back of the camera real quick. If I'm getting a slamming photo, I'm screaming about it. Oh yeah, we're killing it! Woo! Look at that. That's awesome. Yes! All right, get back in there. All right.
Well, the more hype they get, you know?
And I think it helps get them more comfortable, because, you can just get really uptight and you look like you still have the hanger in your shirt at first. And then once you've relaxed a little bit, you start to feel like you. And I think a lot of people don't like the way they look in pictures because they're so stiff and they don't feel like themselves in those pictures. So
people are so self-conscious, and one of the reasons is because we're always selfieing with our Instagram, and so we become self-conscious by constantly taking photos of ourselves. But again, trust your professionals. Trust these photographers. You paid us thousands of dollars. We're going to get good photos of you, I promise.
Yeah, you want them to look good because then you look good.
Sure, absolutely. It's important for us to get good photos. And in your reviews, people will tell you that. People will tell you these are the most remarkable photos that we've ever had. If anybody uses the F word and says it was fine, you've failed.
It's a 4-letter word.
You've failed your client. You failed yourself by getting it was fine. That means that you didn't upsell the right product. That means that you didn't offer them the right service, or you weren't excited about their imagery like they were excited to get them excited about their imagery. So it's important. You don't ever want to be fine. You want to be 5 stars. And that's another thing that's unfortunate. If you're not getting 5-star reviews, then you're, in Wedding Wire's eye, in the Knot's eye, you're failing, which is unfortunate. So, whenever we send our review out, we ask the bride and groom, if you don't think that we did a 5-star job, please let us know. Let us know how we can fix it for you. Let us know what we did wrong, so that in the future we can have that feedback for all of our other brides and grooms.
You can't fix something if you don't know it's broken.
Absolutely.
Specifically, So it's always helpful to get positive feedback. Even negative feedback can be very helpful.
You can't surround yourself with yes men. It's important to, in your group of people, to have people who will tell you the truth. I think it's also very important as a vendor to have your assistants. Everybody's able to make a decision. Because a bride and a groom never wants to hear, we'll get back to you, I gotta go talk to the owner, I gotta, be definite and be hard about your answers and know your product, know your service. Be strong.
Yes. Perfect. Did you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Did you have anything you want to add about our topic of the day?
I was listening earlier, and these ladies had some really great things. Presentation, again, is so incredibly important. Your reviews are important, and also being consistent across all your platforms. Wedding Wire, The Knot, your Instagram, your Facebook. Be sure that you're consistent. Make sure that all of your imagery is consistent, that your message is the same. Because if it's all over the place, when people go to it, they'll think, well, this looks scattered. I'm going to go to the next guy.
Yeah, the online experience, you can put 1 million ads out. You can do all of this, but if they look on there, you've got bad reviews, or your social media looks like a mess, they're not going to call. There's too many people that are killing it, and that's something to think about as you're planning your promotions for your business.
Sure, Google yourself.
Yeah.
Every 6 months, Google yourself and see what comes up.
Yeah.
Because you'll be surprised.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I sold an old camera to someone, and when he takes pictures with my camera, the metadata in the camera still comes up as me. So
that's funny.
He takes pictures of theater stuff in Chicago.
Are they at least good pictures?
My name will come up attached to the photos. I'm like, Austin, my photos are coming up again.
Just go and change it in the settings.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It's so easy.
That's Oh, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
for
having
having
everyone.
For helping us out. Brian did our headshots, by the way, those fabulous headshots you've seen posted on all of our previews. So,
Sure.
and he's done a lot of other photography, including the debut cover of our fall 2018 edition.
So good.
It was amazing. It's if you haven't seen that, I'll post a picture of that and a link to the shoot. So it looks pretty slamming. events. Thanks for coming, and again, come back with us next week and see our next episode. We'll see you then.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Late.
Cocktails with the Crew is a New Orleans Weddings Magazine production, filmed on location at Republic NOLA in New Orleans Warehouse District, featuring host Jessica Talazac, Director of Special Events for Republic NOLA, and Jessica Burke, publisher of New Orleans Weddings Magazine. Audio recording by Ellen Kramer. Video by Brian Jarreau. Theme music Blues Genius by Steve Fox. Copyright 2019 New Orleans Weddings Magazine.